the difference between someone who is successful and someone who is unsuccessful, someone who is happy and someone who is unhappy, is not what happens to them, it's how they respond. Hey my kings and queens, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Lucy, and on this channel we explore all sorts of mind-blowing topics around spirituality, personal development, and how to master using the law of attraction to manifest what you want into your reality. So I was inspired to create today's video. It is now 6 p.m. here in the UK. I was inspired to create this video because I have just come to the end of a day where I've been doing back-to-back video calls with all sorts of different beautiful people. Some of them have been people who are looking to join my team of entrepreneurs in one of my big international nutrition businesses. And I've been on the phone with some other people who have applied to attend one of my transformational workshops or online manifestation courses. So it's been a beautiful day of speaking to people from all over the world who all have different goals, the one thing they all had in common was they all wanted to grow and achieve more in whatever aspect of their life we were talking about. As the day went on, during these video calls, there seemed to be a clear split. There was one group of people where the conversation flowed really easily, and we were both very excited by the end of the call, clear on what we were going to create together. They all had one thing in common. And then the second group of people, the conversation sort of never really got going. It was difficult to create flow. And by the end of the conversation, really, we were unable to conclude very much. And they decided to definitely think about it. And it was that kind of conclusion, okay? And so it's been very easy for me to see today that all of these people had one thing in common and all of these people had something else in common. So before I reveal what this one characteristic is that all of the happy and successful people have, I need to make one thing clear just for anybody who is new to this concept of personal development and mindset stuff. That our mindset and our belief system creates our reality. So now, the one thing that all of these happy and successful people had in common was they all were solution focused. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, the people who I was on the phone with today, where we weren't able to come to any kind of decision, they weren't able to commit to anything, those people were all problem focused. So this is an opportunity for you to take any kind of pride or any kind of ego and just put it to one side just for a few minutes, because sometimes our ego or our pride can jump at defending ourselves so that we don't have to face the truth, and then we continue to live in the same pattern. So if you have experienced a lot of unhappiness or a lack of success in your life up until this point, I would just like to ask you to take any kind of pride or ego and put it to one side so that you can be honest with yourself. You don't even have to admit this to me or to anybody else, but just be honest with yourself, and let's have a look at how you respond to challenges, to problems that come up in your life. If there is a situation, let's just have a think back the last 24 hours, the last week, the last month, the last year. What challenges have arisen in the workplace or at home or with your relationships in general, where you focused on the problem and did it stress you out? Did it cause you anxiety? Did it lead to you talking for long periods of time about this problem that you were experiencing? The difference with happy and successful people is not that they never encounter problems. They encountered just as many, if not more, obstacles. But the difference between someone who is successful and someone who is unsuccessful, someone who is happy and someone who is unhappy, is not what happens to them, it's how they respond. Next time you are faced with an obstacle, next time even someone tries to hurt you or says something mean or abusive to you, instead of reacting in a way where you look at how much of a problem it is, as quickly as you can, and that's the game. The game is see how fast you can switch the way that you react or that you respond to the situation, and you can simply ask yourself, okay, what is the solution to this? What is the solution? The minute you ask that question to yourself or to others, you totally change the course of that conversation. You change the course of your thoughts, and therefore you change the course of your reality, and you start to allow a solution-focused outcome to unfold. So let's give an example. Maybe you're in the workplace. Maybe someone is complaining to you about some problem. Maybe your whole entire database has just got wiped out. Maybe you've been faced with a massive urgent deadline and you have no idea initially how you're going to reach this deadline. Maybe someone's just broken up with you. These are all opportunities. These are all situations where it's very, very easy for us to slip into a problem-focused mindset. But these are all golden opportunities for you to practice, for you to show the universe that you are intentionally choosing to ask yourself, what are the solutions to this situation? So going back to, the whole database has been wiped, that seems like a pretty hopeless situation. But if you then ask the question to yourself or to your fellow colleagues, okay, what is the solution to this? It might not be easy at first to decide what the solution is, but the sooner you start asking these questions, the sooner you can create a new plan, you can put some actions into motion to develop a brand new database. You could decide to sit down and create a brand new advertising campaign to draw in a fresh new database. You could accept the fact that maybe your business has reached a point where you're meant to draw a line and say goodbye to anything that is connected to the past, because your business is about to experience a whole new level of growth and those old contacts no longer serve where your business is headed. There are so many ways that you can choose to respond to what could be at first seen as a problem or even a disaster, and turn it into an opportunity for you to look for new solutions, which in turn opens up some amazing opportunities for you. Now, if you are quite a positive person already, and if you struggle to handle negative people around you, if you've ever had that situation where you're trying to stay positive, but you just got someone complaining in your ear and you just can't get away from that person, the most simple way to divert the conversation from being a negative conversation to a positive conversation is you can ask that person the question, okay, so what's the solution to this? And they may at first be speechless because that wasn't the question they were expecting you to ask. They may not even like the fact that you are intentionally not dwelling on the problem for a minute longer and you've moved on already. So it will be interesting to see how they react. But it is a very beautiful, subtle, and yet obvious way of moving the conversation onwards and upwards to finding a solution to the situation. And when you get into the habit of saying that question, okay, what's the solution to this? Then it becomes very clear that actually complaining about, bitching about, moaning about anything is a complete waste of your time and your energy. And remember that everything that comes out of your mouth is the paintbrush to your world. With your words, you create your reality. And once again, the people who are unhappy and unsuccessful, they all focused on their problems and they were talking about their problems a lot. And with any advice I could offer them, they kind of stopped listening whenever I had a solution to offer them for their problems, and they went back into another conversation about their problems. And you might notice this with some people, that when you try and offer them solutions, they actually ignore you because they are actually despite the fact that they're complaining about their problems, they are vibrating on that kind of frequency where complaining feels good, relatively speaking. Whereas if you want to elevate your life, it's important to be aware there are frequencies you can vibrate on that are much, 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 much better than the vibration of complaining and moaning. You can feel so much better than that. So instead of using complaining and moaning as an emotional crutch, look for the solution, and you will find at the end of that solution, you and your life will elevate to a much higher frequency level. I want to take a quick second to appreciate all of you who have watched this video up until this point with an open mind. And if, while watching this video, you've been looking internally, you've been checking in with yourself, and you've been being really honest with yourself in analyzing your behavior, in analyzing how you habitually have been responding to situations. If you've been checking in with yourself and you can honestly say that there's some room for an improvement, if you've been a bit more problem focused, and it's not necessarily your fault, because often we grow up in an environment or we work in an environment where everyone is problem focused. So if you can admit that, and you can also forgive yourself, and then you can intentionally decide from now onwards that you are going to be more solution focused. If that's you and you're excited to commit and to change your mindset, to change your life, which will then allow you to join the happy and successful people on this planet, then please do comment below with your realization and with your commitment. Put it into writing, because that makes it much more powerful how you're going to develop moving forwards. On that note, stay solution focused, sending you love and blessings and all the answers that you were looking for. Namaste.